Hey, my love, welcome back to the show. This is your safe corner of the internet where we grow, heal, and rise together, one breath, one step at a time. So, wherever you are, take a breath, get comfy, get hydrated, and let's step into today's message together. Let's talk about the part of YouTube that no one really prepares you for. Not the starting, not the filming, not even the editing. It's the part where you keep showing up and it feels like no one is there. You got low views, quiet comments, no messages saying this helped me. Just you, your camera, and the little voice in your head asking, is this even worth it? If you've ever felt that, you're not weak, you're normal. If you've ever wondered how YouTubers get to where they are now because of this part, the hardest season of YouTube is the silent one, I believe. Not because you're failing and not because you're doing anything wrong, but because you're creating without feedback. And humans are wired for feedback. We want reassurance. We want that confirmation. We want to know we're doing it right. But in the beginning, you don't get much of that. And that's usually where people stop. But you have to be that validation. You have to feel that what you are doing is good enough and it's going to be worth being seen because you are worth being seen. And what if I told you the quiet season is not punishment, it's preparation? When no one is watching you, you get something rare, space. Space to find your voice, space to experiment, space to mess up without pressure. That season is a gift, even though it doesn't feel like it. Let's talk about consistency honestly. Consistency is not about motivation. Motivation is unreliable. Consistency is about identity. It's about deciding I'm someone who shows up even when it's quiet. Because here's something important. YouTube doesn't reward talent first. It rewards proof of commitment, proof of that consistency. The platform is always asking, can I trust you to stay? And every time you post when it's quiet, you answer that question. Let's clear up a big misconception real quick. The algorithm is not ignoring you, it's observing you, it's learning you, how often you post, how long you stick around, whether you disappear when it gets uncomfortable. Consistency in silence builds trust with the platform and with yourself. But let's be real for a second. Posting into silence can mess with your head. You start questioning everything, your voice, your ideas, your presence. You start thinking, maybe I'm not interested enough. Maybe someone else is doing this better. Maybe I waited too long to start, and we all feel like that, right? But none of that is true. It just feels true when there's no external validation. When you start flooding your mind with maybe I'm not interested enough to maybe I'm just gonna show up and just do it and just see what happens. When you fill your mind with thoughts of positivity, that feeling that you get when you feel when it's not true, that feeling of just saying, hey, I can do it, can change everything about how you see it. So again, none of that negative stuff is ever true. It just feels true when there's no external validation. So going back to, that's why you need to have that internal validation. I can do this. If views can't be the reason you keep going, what can? You need an anchor that lives inside you. Ask yourself, who am I becoming by doing this? What skill am I practicing every time I post? What does consistency teach my nervous system? Because even when it feels invisible, something is still happening. You're building confidence, you're building clarity, you're building presence. That progress just doesn't come with notifications. Let's talk about the invisible wins. Consistency when no one is watching teaches you discipline, self-trust, and emotional regulation. You're learning how to show up without applause. And that skill, that's rare. That's what separates people who try YouTube from people who become creators. Here's something really important to remember. Every creator you admire went through this phase. They all had a moment where they wondered, am I talking to myself? I've done it before so many times, and you get to the point where you're like, whatever. Am I talking to myself? So what? The difference, they didn't quit during that chapter. They treated it like training, not judgment. And that's what I've decided to do. I pressed record on these videos, and I'm watching myself back, and I am learning what feels good to me, and that's how I do it. When I get on this camera, I'm more so focused on myself, but in a way that is loving, that is kind, that progresses me and makes me want to stay here. And I know that, like with any process that is ever done in the world, with learning, with anything new, you have to practice, because if you don't practice, or some people think because when something is new that it's supposed to just come like, so easy. But sometimes you need that practice, like with a bike, like with driving a car. Like I think about when I started driving a car, it was so scary to drive a car, but I still had this like determination, like, oh, I'm ready, like I'm gonna drive. And just think about how scary it is to drive. I feel like it's way more scary to learn how to drive than it is to put up a video. And maybe that may be vice versa for some people, but for me, I was very scared to drive. And at some point, I was scared to show up on YouTube as well. But I guess what I'm trying to get at is that I started to treat this like I was training, or I was practicing, and just wanting to get better. I want you to imagine something for a second. Imagine someone finds your channel 6 months from now. They binge your videos. They feel seen. They feel understood. They don't see the low views. They don't see the doubt. They don't see the days you almost stopped. And I feel like this message is speaking to me, because I came into this wanting people to feel seen. I came into this wanting people to feel something when they see my videos. And people don't see that everyday, well, not I won't say everyday struggle, but people don't see those moments where you are building yourself into this. And I just want people to know that you can do it. And yeah, it may not be easy, but keep showing up anyway until it does feel easy. Just put in that practice. So back to the message, they just see someone who kept showing up, and they think, I'm so glad they didn't quit. That moment, that's built right now. And I just want you to know that I feel like there are people out there that are going to resonate with you. I feel like there are people that are going to feel connected to what you are saying. You are not creating for today's numbers. You are creating for future you, future viewers, and the version of you who didn't give up. That's why consistency matters, even when it feels pointless, especially when it feels pointless. Let's redefine what consistency actually looks like. I don't think that consistency means posting every day, burning yourself out, or forcing creativity. example, like before this video, I took some time to come back because I kind of felt like, I mean, don't get me wrong, I was in a good position and I was being consistent and I was showing up. But what I always say to myself with creating these videos is that I always want to look at this and have fun with it. I always want to come on this camera and really feel, or the energy that I portray, I always want it to be authentic. I don't want to get on here and I'm burnt out and I'm just forcing my creation. So I think that it is very necessary to take that time to give your mind a break from YouTube and start anew. So consistency to me means choosing a pace that you can maintain, showing up imperfectly, and returning even after a break. And again, that speaks to me because, like I said, I just took a break and I was in my head about it. I was thinking, like, what if I took too long of a break? Like, sometimes when I'm doing something consistently and then I stop, I kind of feel like, dang, I don't want to say I lost my consistency, but I lost that routine that I was in. And I got a little scared, like, can I do it, But then I was like, well, if I think like that, then that's what's going to come out. So I stopped thinking about it and I gave myself a break and I was like, when I'm ready, I'm going to do it. But also, don't forget to give myself that push, like, okay, chill, but then, okay, what you doing? Let's get back to it. So returning even after a break. You don't need intensity, you need sustainability. And listen, if you miss a week, you didn't fail. I don't want you to feel discouraged. I don't want you to lose your momentum. The only way to truly stop is to stop completely. As long as you're taking that break and then you come back, then you're good. But do not stop completely. You're allowed to ebb and flow. Just don't disappear. There will be days when posting feels pointless. On those days, don't ask, is this working? Ask, what am I practicing today? Your voice, maybe your presence, or maybe your ability to take up space. Those things, they compound even in silence. So if you're in your quiet season right now, right along with me, I want you to hear this clearly. You're not behind, you're not ignored, you're not failing. You're building something slowly and slowly lasts. One day this season will make sense. You'll look back and realize this is when you learned how to stay. This is where you learned how to believe in yourself without evidence. This is where you became consistent, not because it was exciting, but because it mattered to you. Post the video, even if it's quiet, especially if it's quiet. You are not invisible. You are in process, and that counts more than you know.